Once you're done with your demonstration, some people like to set it up and leave it so people can walk by and look at it and get a visual on, get up close. Sometimes they like to talk about it when you're not around, so don't be afraid to leave it set up and let them do that. But there's a couple of pretty important things when you're cleaning this up that I wanted to remind you of, is that you have some surfaces like the plexiglass plates that cover your funnels and your jars that scratch very easily. And just the soil in the sand and the silicas in the soil are abrasive enough to scratch these jars up. And you saw as we started this, it was a nice crystal clear, everything was nice and pretty and stuff. And you can keep it that way for a long time if you manage that right. And we provide you with a microfiber cloth, which obviously isn't enough to clean the whole system up, but wanted you to get you an idea of what it is to use. And I like to rinse everything out really well and then dry them off with the microfiber cloth. But if you can get as much of the soil out of that before you ever touch any of those surfaces, they'll stay in good condition a lot longer. And so make sure you take good care of that. The other thing is that a lot of these trailers are used by multiple presenters, and the way you leave that makes a lot of difference to the next person that has to go about taking care of it and cleaning it up. And so it's a pretty sizable investment for the organizations to put these together, and so I encourage you to take very good care of it. And the better that looks when you get ready to start it, the more professional you look. And you're an educator, and the time that you're out there has to count. And so we can make you look as good as you possibly can, but it's up to you to keep it that way. So I encourage you to take as good a care and keep it up, clean it up as good as you possibly can before you ever put it away. Some of these samples, they take quite a bit of work to get, and I wouldn't hesitate if you've got several presentations coming up that you like the way those samples work for you, is you can keep those intact and not flip them over. You can flip those over, but then trying to get them back in the pan, you'll have to be careful about doing that. But you can keep these out in your yard, and you can water them, and you can feed them if you get a good no-till system that's got a lot of earthworms and something that's going to go in and feed on that residue. You may have to add a little bit of residue back into those. And so, but don't be afraid to keep some of these, and especially if they're working very well for you. We'll cover a few things just when you're done with your program and your presentation, and you start to put things away. Just some recommended things to think about and to cover that you need to do before you not only transport it, but if you're going to store it for a while. I'd recommend that you remove your batteries from, especially rechargeable batteries, and put those back in your charger. Before you're finished at the end of the day, I'd turn off the battery charger off this unless you're going to have it plugged in. This will not work when you have the cutoff switch to your battery, so even if you forget to do this, then you won't run your big battery down for that. You also would want to put your GoPro camera batteries back in here so that you can get those charged. These battery chargers can also be removed and taken into the office and plugged inside if you'd rather not worry about them. And you just stow all your equipment back in the drawers. You shut off all your switches. And then the last thing you would do is to turn your switch off, and that turns off all the 12-volt systems. Need to lock the drawers. Make sure that they don't roll out. You'll want to lock this one as well. And we normally keep the key in one of these drawers so that you probably would want to drain your water tank. so that you don't get sour water in there. The water tank is actually an RV water tank, so fresh water and drinkable water if you want to keep it that way. But you would need to manage that like it was in an RV, where you'd want to make sure it was drained and dry and clean and flushed periodically to do that. Make sure everything's tied down, put away, and then lock the trailer up. Most important thing is to make sure that you stabilize your jacks. Those don't go down the road very well. We get those in every once in a while to replace. And so you'd raise those jacks back all the way up and hook it up to your vehicle, and off you go. Oh, slide your step in. Well, I hope you got enough out of this video that you can confidently set up the demonstration and run it and give a good presentation. The one great thing about the Rainfall Simulator is I've had people tell me before that you could have ran this thing and not said a word, and we'd have got the message on that. I'd also like to thank the KACD and the USDA and the Soil Health Alliance for purchasing the unit. Our company is Conservation Demonstrations. We have a website that's called rainfallsimulator.com. We have all our products on there. We have several different demonstrations, and for a trailer like this, if these are a special quote, if we have different ranges of trailers. This is complete with an audio visual, but you can get one that's just a transport and storage type of trailer. But we appreciate their purchase, and hopefully they get many years of good use with it, and you do some good work with your educational processes. Thank you.